Welcome back to California Cooking. It's the holiday season, and this time of year, we all want a little something special on the table. So we have a couple of recipes perfect for Christmas morning. But first, we start with an historic destination all dressed up for the holidays. You can get coffee, pastries, desserts, specialty gifts, and a whole lot more. The newly reimagined Helms Bakery is now open. Let's meet the owner.
Hi, I'm Chef Sang Yoon, and welcome to the new Helms Bakery. The history of the original Helms Bakery in Los Angeles is really fun. It started originally in 1931, became the official bread supplier of the 1932 Los Angeles Olympics. And in 1969, it was the first bread ever flown to the moon on the Apollo 11 mission. What a history, and what an incredible history to actually live up to. So where I came in is I've been next door at Father's office since 2008, and I grew up in LA, and this building has been so special to me. This whole area has been special to me. And I've always asked the question is, why can't we, this next generation, have the Helms Bakery again? And it's a question I've been asking for quite a long time. Finally, it's here, and it's a dream come true. The new Helms Bakery is something completely different. It's not just a truck. We are heavily inspired by the items that you found on a truck. So if you were old enough to remember the donuts, the cream puffs, the eclairs, and things like that from the truck, we have all those things here today with so much more. We have a full coffee shop where we roast our own coffee beans in-house. We have a deli, we have a restaurant, and of course, the crazy bakery section. And all of these beautiful items, the retail section that kind of just makes you want to celebrate every single day. So if you're a first-time Helms visitor to the new Helms Bakery, the first thing, you're probably coming here in the morning, I suggest you try one of our incredible coffee or latte or matcha drinks. We've taken so special care to curate these ingredients. I'd start there and I'd browse. I would take a look. If you're here in the morning, you can have breakfast. If you're here during lunchtime, we have sandwiches and salads. It's kind of an all-day experience, truly. And then eventually we'll be open in the evening hours, and we'll have things like wine and cheese boards and things, and prepared meals you can take home. And pretty soon, in the next few months, we're gonna be opening our restaurant. It's called Dinette, something really special that we'll announce pretty soon. The first stop for most Helms guests is the coffee shop. Get your drinks, get your soft serve, get your pastries, and for the holidays, we have the actual legendary Helms box truck. It's actually a toy and a cookie tin in one, filled with incredible holiday cookies. These are available all through December. We even have, for the kids or the kid in you, the holiday cookie decorating kit, made cookies, all the colors, all the decorations ready to go. Bakery is kind of scattered throughout. We've got the donuts, we've got the pastries all here in one stop if you just want a quick trip. And here's a really fun section. This is kind of our area where we have like Christmas ornaments. This is the new gingerbread truck, fully decked out in holiday colors, ornaments. All about food. Everything at the bakery is all about food. Not just about the bakery, but we've got really fun things that you can kind of celebrate if you're a foodie, this is the place to come for all of your holiday needs, gifts coming up to the bakery. Some of our most already incredibly popular items are olive oil pistachio cake, our corn and honey cake. This is flying out of here. This has become really, really popular. All these cookies. Big two-hand cookies for the kids. My personal favorite, got to keep away from, is the cheese pretzels. Totally addictive. As you can see, it's the full holidays already at the bakery. Look at this incredible cake. Looks like a tree. If you cut this open, it's a mint chocolate cake. Housing availability just got a little bit easier in LA. We're hopefully contributing to the real estate market. Beautiful little gingerbread cake houses, perfectly decorated, ready to go. If you're meeting up with friends this holiday, this is the perfect thing to bring. This is super cute. I love this. Yeah, it's super adorable. This makes me want to move in. This bakery area is where all the magic happens, and it's completely visible to the guests. You can see everything being made by hand every day, all throughout the day. One of the many things that the new Helms Bakery is becoming known for is our pie. This is our cherry pie specifically, that's this tall, square pie. It has almost 3 pounds of cherries, 5 different varieties. Helms is also really special because we do bake actually all day. We don't just bake one time in the morning, but we bake throughout the day. So anytime you walk in here, morning, afternoon, or even early evening, we will be baking constantly and changing the menu. So even if you come in the morning, you come by later, we'll have a whole new setup. It's literally fresh all day long. Well, I hope everyone enjoys their journey through the new Helms Bakery. It's a wonderful place to come and explore, spend the morning, spend the afternoon. I hope to see you soon.
Coming up, a Christmas morning menu that is festive and easy to pull together. That's coming up next. It is a Christmas morning bake with buttery layers of phyllo dough stuffed with brie and raspberry jam, all baked in an eggy custard. The favorite ingredient around the holidays is good old puff pastry. So this recipe, I've seen versions of it that you basically take puff pastry sheets and you kind of layer them in a baking dish, and then you stuff the creases, and you'll see what I mean in a second, with cheeses or fruits, and then you bake it. So this one I'm going to do, and a lot of times it's with brie or pear or that kind of combination. I'm gonna do brie and a raspberry preserve. And I just think Christmas morning, when you wanna make something that's festive but easy and you don't wanna stress out about it, this, I think, is a perfect kind of fun and special breakfast or brunch. The first thing you'll need is thawed puff pastry sheets. The thing also about puff pastry, you have to work quickly because it really dries out. Here are all of these sheets. So I watched someone on, I think it was Pinterest, do this. And basically, there's like 2 sheets at a time. And then you just do this kind of scrunching motion, right? Where you, and almost like an accordion, where you get all these folds. And you have to, you don't want to be scared of it, because I'm kind of getting scared of it. My nails are poking through and all that, but don't worry. So then you get this kind of accordion fold, and you get a baking dish that is about the length, and you just start tucking. And then you do it again and again and again and again until you fill up your baking sheet. It's kind of fun at first, so you get a little worried you're not doing it right, but I think it's okay. Here we go. And we do, and you just nestle them in there. And see where all those little folds are is where you stuff yummy things into the fold. And really this, I mean, you could do ham and cheese, you could do, like I said, there was brie and pear or apple slices, or sky's the limit, really, which I also like when you can add your own thing. Hopefully I have enough. But now that's my only fear, is that I don't have enough puff pastry. Looks like paper. It looks like a baking dish of paper. So now what we do, I'll actually put this right here. We're going to cut some brie. So I have a wheel of brie, and you want the brie to be cold because it's almost impossible to have nice slices of brie when it's oozing. And really, I think you could use any number of cheeses. We're going to find those little creases, and we just tuck. And I bought 2 wheels of brie just in case. It's kind of fun. I might have to cut my second wheel of brie. This is why you get the extra, especially around the holidays. You can't run out Christmas morning and get some more brie. So I got 2, and you can always just eat the extra with crackers, but I didn't quite have enough. Lovely. I have some raspberry preserve. And what I'm gonna do is same thing, just kind of tuck a little bit of the preserves down in where the cheese is. It's Christmassy, it's red, and that's the beautiful thing about brie, is it goes so well with fruit. So it's that sweet, savory combo. Maybe if you have some mimosas on Christmas morning, wouldn't that be nice with this? Gorgeous. I have a little bit of butter melted, and then we're going to just brush our puff pastry on top. Even though puff pastry obviously has tons of butter, you have to brush the top so it gets that beautiful golden brown when it goes in the oven. And that's probably maybe 2 tablespoons of butter, maybe a little more. We have some heavy cream, about a cup, and then we're gonna crack 2 eggs into our heavy cream. Pinch of salt, because we want this to be the savory sweet, and some cracked pepper. And we'll whisk that together. And I have the oven on 350. So we're kind of making a custard to pour into our layers. I'm gonna get it into all of the areas. Last thing we're gonna do, I have some fresh thyme, and I'm just going to sprinkle a little fresh thyme, and that's it. And now we're gonna pop it in the oven and see how long this takes. I made a little setup for my Christmas breakfast, and I'm so curious to see texturally what this Christmas bake is like, because we have the brie, we have the raspberry preserves, all of the puff pastry, a little bit of thyme on top. And I let it sit because it was bubbling and very gooey. And the edges are crispy. And at first glance, it almost looks like a lasagna, which is kind of funny. But it's going to be sweet and savory and buttery. It's always hard to get that first piece out, but let's try our best here. I'm almost thinking, you know, a croissant, this is the kind of dough they make croissants out of, but you see all the layers because we did that accordion. So it's kind of ooey, gooey, and crispy, and like molten lava on the inside, so just be careful. And it's bready and cheesy, and you get the hit of the raspberry preserves. It's really yummy, but almost unlike anything I've ever had. It's almost like if you took a croissant and you put all that stuff in it and then let it get kind of ooey gooey. That's what this is. My sweet and savory Christmas bake is complete. Now, a fruit wreath to serve with it. That's coming up next. Here's a festive fruit wreath that's so easy, you can put it together on Christmas morning. Take a look. To go with our Christmas bake, I'm gonna make a festive fruit platter in the shape of a wreath while our Christmas bake is in the oven. Look at my knives. I need new knives for Christmas, if anyone's listening. They can't even cut a kiwi. How sad. It's really just your, typical fruit platter, things that are red and green, and I'm gonna make it in the shape of a wreath, and then I'm gonna put a little bit of a yogurt dip in the middle so your family can just nibble as they wait for breakfast or brunch. So the first thing is, like I said, think of fruits that are red and green to be festive, and then something round will help to keep the shape of the wreath, and then put a bowl in the middle that'll be your dip. You could do a whipped cream, which is so lovely for, I think, fruit. But the first thing, the base, I would say some green grapes. Take your grapes and you'll lose a few as they roll around here. Take your grapes and just kind of make that shape around. Start making that shape of a wreath. To that, we just start building and we start having fun with what we've got. So let's start with some kiwi. So the kiwi, of course, is green and festive, and you just start to kind of nestle the kiwi in there around. Find your spots. And you just find places where you want to put your little kiwi. You just want to keep the circular shape. That's the biggest goal here. And then you can even cut, different shapes. You can, if you need to fill something out, you can cut it in half. Just kind of play around with things. Moving on to red. Let's do our strawberries and our raspberries. We just sprinkle those around, fill in any holes. Raspberries, done. Let's get into our strawberries. And these, you know, I think if they're small, you could just place them around, but if they're larger, you may wanna cut into them. Just tuck them around. Okay, now we have mint. So I just think this is what's gonna give you that wreath kind of effect. Just place into our little wreath. It smells, this mint is, oh my goodness, it smells so beautiful. Lovely, now we're not done yet, we're getting there. The last thing I wanna do is there's these beautiful bay leaves, and this you just kind of tuck around your wreath at the bottom, and it just really gives you the shape that you want. And it looks really festive. And they have fresh bay a lot of times in the produce department. You know, where you'd get your parsley or your dill. For our yogurt dip, I have some Greek yogurt plain. I don't know, I always tend to like the way yogurt tastes when I flavor it versus buying it flavored. You know, I think vanilla yogurt would work well with this, but I'm gonna show you how I make a kind of an orange honey yogurt. And I think it's really nice. So I've got a couple tangerines, and you just juice them. Plus this makes it a little looser and better for dipping fruit. And this time of year, tangerines are so sweet, so good. Got some honey, sweeten it up, and a little vanilla. And then stir that up, and you've got a tangerine honey yogurt. Into our bowl, and I think just to make it pretty, I might zest a little orange zest. It's nice and bright and citrusy. And there you go. Your lovely Christmas fruit wreath is ready for the family. Time for a little make-ahead Christmas dessert. This time of year, you might not have time to bake a cake or cupcakes, but you want to make it look like it's homemade and something festive. I saw these cute little Christmas trees on Pinterest that someone made with chocolate and a pretzel stick, and I thought that would be cute if you put them into a cake or a cupcake. Just went to the grocery store, got this jelly roll, and I'll show you what I'm gonna do to make it festive. First thing is I'm going to whip some cream, some heavy cream. It's so easy to make homemade whipped cream. All you need is heavy cream and powdered sugar. So just whip that and let it go for a little bit before you add the powdered sugar. While our whipped cream is going, I have these meltables. You can get them online in the craft store. You could even use white chocolate, but it's easier to melt these meltables in the microwave for like 30 seconds to a minute, and I'll show you what we're gonna do. Let's add, I don't wanna make this too sweet because our cake is sweet. About a tablespoon of powdered sugar. You could add vanilla, you could add peppermint flavoring, whatever you want. Okay, that's it. Whipped cream is done. Let's chuck on our meltables. That's it. Look at that. In the microwave, a minute, and then you stir it around until everything melts, and that's basically, it's like meltable candy. So once this hardens again, it becomes like a candy. You can use it to decorate. Okay, if you have pastry bag, great. If you don't, you can also use a Ziploc bag. Then we're gonna load our bag here with the white chocolate meltables. This is where I get nervous, because now we're gonna try to get creative and make little Christmas trees. And then we have our pretzels. So I have a piece of parchment paper, and just to make sure nothing sticks, I'm gonna spray. And let's place our pretzel sticks, because we're gonna make little trees. Give it a little space so they don't stick together. Cut a very tiny little bit off your bag. And now we get a tree going. And you just make the shape of a triangle, and you've got a tree. The most important thing, what makes everything look cute, our sprinkles. These look like little ornaments on your tree, just some pretty little, any kind. Make it look festive and fun, especially for the kids. I'm gonna either pop these in you could let them sit at room temperature for a while, but if you wanna hurry things up, you could stick it in the freezer or the fridge. Our little Christmas trees came out of the freezer. I would say 10 minutes they were in there, and they don't stick. They're coming off. Look at that, beautiful. I'll show you what one looks like. How sweet. Okay, so you've got your store-bought cake or cupcakes. You've got your homemade whipped cream, so technically you made this one. And then what I'm gonna do, just to give it a base, so you've got your whipped cream, I'm gonna put right on top. This is the glue for our snow, which is shredded coconut. You could do sweetened or unsweetened. I'm doing unsweetened. And then we take our sweet little trees, stick them in there. And it's festive, and it's like a little forest of candy trees. And you've got a cute little festive dessert. And actually, I think what could be kind of cute is they just happen to have a little bit of greenery. I think it adds to our festive dessert. And there you go. It's like you made it yourself. For all the recipes we featured today, you can follow us on Instagram at KTLA California Cooking. Well, we're wishing you and your family a very Merry Christmas and a happy holiday. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.